Hello again, listeners, and welcome back to the Kotu Classic FPL podcast. I'm your host, Solomon, and as usual, my co-host, Chama. Chama, nakam nak?
Boy, cool, Matt. Nakam, yaa ngi baax.
Maa ngi baax ba yaa ngi pare yaas de.
Boy, waa season bi jot na, boy. It's just a week now. Because I'm
Yeah,
already in Friday. So yeah, it's almost there, boy. Jot na ba pare. Fu mu nekk nii suma furu fara yi fa ngee yëngatu, boy. Pare na.
yeah, we can feel it. Mun nañoo feel, we can feel the tension, because things are happening.
I
So
like it.
yeah, this is our final preseason episode, episode 3. Not much to talk about, but just to dial into two topics as the preseason of both our teams, like the fan view, both for both from our own point of view, actually. So as a Liverpool and Manchester United fans, both of us, and then we'll talk about the captaincy, the importance of captaincy, especially in FPL, because as time goes on, we realize that your captaincy points are very important to
Yeah.
how well you do in a season. Yeah. But before we get into that, we'll just have a brief football news of transfers and what's happening right now before the season starts. A lot of
Yeah.
movement is going on. First things first, Kane has gone AWOL from preseason training because of the speculation that is linking him with Man City. So
Yeah.
he's missed 2 days of training preseason, even though he played for England in the finals of the Euros. That's one. So Aston Villa are already spending the Grealish money.
Yeah, they are
They've
already spending it. Big. Spending big.
spending big. They accepted 100 million bid from Man City for Grealish, and they've already signed or confirmed the agreement for Leon Bailey.
Yeah.
And yesterday they just also confirmed agreement for Danny Ings from Southampton. So they've
Yeah.
been busy in the market, yeah. Other unfortunate news: Fofana from Leicester, has suffered a fractured tibia. I think a very horrific injury in their
Yeah, that's
preseason
horrific.
game.
It was horrific, yeah. To
Yeah,
get
so
to be injured in a preseason game is bad.
exactly, especially before the season starts, so it's going to take him a while for him to get back and get his fitness and rhythm back. So we wish him all the best. He's a very exciting young defender. So
Yeah, top
yeah,
player, top
we don't
player.
like to see that, yeah, honestly. And
Yeah.
then last but not least, we have Lukaku, who's close to his Chelsea return after all
Yeah.
these years. He's back to finish his unfinished business at Chelsea. So hopefully Chelsea will not bring up all those, the bad memories from Manchester United. He's now the best player in the league all of a sudden. Don't worry. Anyway,
Lukaku,
yeah,
all of a sudden, yeah.
mm,
Yeah, that's
yeah, we are waiting.
the Chelsea, the Chelsea feeling, the Chelsea fans.
We are
Yeah,
waiting. We are
they're
waiting. We have all
excited.
the notes. We have all the notes for all the things they used to say, the horrible things they used to say about him. So we're just waiting.
Yeah, but I
Yeah,
think he could be a big signing for them because yeah, I think Chelsea the only missing part of their jigsaw right now is a striker who can score
mm,
goals. And as we know, Lukaku is a very good goal scorer. Of course, a lot of things will be said about him, his first touch, things like that. But to put the ball in the back of the net, I think
yeah.
he is
He's
one of the best in the world.
yeah.
So
He's one of the best
mm,
strikers right now, yeah, in the
yeah,
in the world. I think he's become a better player since he left Manchester United. So yeah, I think they're getting a better, more confident and mature Lukaku, which is good for them.
absolutely,
I wish him
absolutely,
all the best. Yeah.
absolutely.
Okay, so now we start the main episode proper. So first things first, Manchester United and Liverpool preseason so far. So what has been happening in your preseason,
No,
Chama?
yes, start. We can start with United. I think. Oh,
Really?
yeah,
Okay, I'll go in, man. I'll go in.
yeah.
Let me just give a rundown of United so far in the preseason. I haven't watched many games, so I don't want to claim that I know everything. I've watched every game or taking notes. No, I just want to give a summary of what happened.
I'm expecting you to give me all the tips so that I will know the three United players I should go with. With
It's,
that
it
beautiful
hasn't
fixture to
changed.
start with.
It hasn't changed. It hasn't changed, to be honest. But yeah, we've had 3 preseason games. First game was against Derby of the championship. I think we won 2-1. The next game was against QPR, which is the one that I watched, but we unfortunately lost some quick fire goals. We lost 4-2. And then we played Brentford and then we drew them 2-2. And then a game against Preston was cancelled due to, I think, a corona outbreak. A few of the staff and some, I think a few players also caught corona. So they cancelled that game. And our last preseason game is against Everton, which is an important game for us because I think it's the game where most of the first team will be available because they've already started training. Most of them are back anyways. So
Yeah.
it's important that we get the first team available to play at least one game before the season starts so that we can assess our performance and the levels and fitness of the players to see, whether we'll get a good start because last season was all messed up.
Yeah.
Coronavirus happened, the pandemic happened, and then we couldn't really get going because the players were not fit and they were tired from then the season before, which was, we just came back. So it was so many things happening at the same time. But now also it's not as bad, but you can say that it's not as much. It's not much better than last season because the players are coming back from the Euros. Most of them
Yeah.
have been given an extended break, so they have to like go on holidays, and now they are back. They have to train and then catch their fitness again. It's a whole different thing. But game against Everton is a good team, and we have a rivalry against them for all these years. So it's a good test of performance to see how well they perform. Also to test our new players, Sancho and the new confirmed yet to be confirmed Varane.
When is that game supposed to be? This weekend?
It's supposed to be the 7th of that
Do you think
is Saturday.
do you think Varane can be available without
No,
any
I don't. I
preseason
don't think
training?
so.
Oh,
He
okay.
will. He's a professional. He's always fit. He doesn't have any problems, as far as I'm concerned. He doesn't have any problems with fitness when he hasn't played, and he just played recently with the Euros, and they didn't go out early, but there's enough time that he's been active. So hopefully, the only thing is maybe settling into the Premier League it might take a while for him. So they might ease him in slowly, but he's a professional, so you know
Of course, he's a
I
professional, but
expect I
yeah,
expect a lot from him. Yeah.
I'm just thinking, without, because the deal is yet to be confirmed, to be finalized, of course, and then the game is gonna be this weekend, which is gonna be 2 days. I don't see it as a realistic time for him to play, even though, as you say, he might be fit and things like that. But realistically, I don't see him playing that preseason. I'm even having doubts in the first game, the Man United first game in the league,
I don't
if he
think
can
he will
even
play. Yeah,
he can even make that one.
he probably may be working on his fitness and playing with the players. And maybe I think the best thing is to ease him in the first 3 games, and then finally when he gets comfortable, then yeah, he can start games because I think Lindelof has been injured. He was struggling with some back injuries recently, the whole of last season actually. So now I think maybe I'm not sure what the status is, whether he's getting surgery or whether he's recovering. I'm not really sure, but we'll see.
But he was available for the Euros, wasn't he?
Yeah, he played,
Yeah, so
but you
he
see, most
played.
of these players,
Were
they would
injured, like
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 in the
Shaw.
major tournament. Yeah, in the major tournament, they will not take the chance. They want to play until after the tournament, then go and get their health sorted out, and then they come for the preseason.
Okay, how about other players like Shaw and Bruno? Because I know they reported in preseason pretty late, but Shaw, I saw him training now. I had some weeks back, and that he was a bit injured out because he played with a broken rib, something like that, in these later stages of the European Cup. But he played through the pain, and they were expecting him to miss maybe a game or two, something like that. But I saw him training, and I'm looking forward to seeing him play against Everton actually, so that it gives us that confidence to go with him in the first game week if we are to go, because he's a very popular player in the
Yeah,
FPL game right now. Do you know any updates about his
I
injury
haven't.
status?
I haven't really maybe seen anything that is a cause for concern, honestly, because maybe before the Everton game we will know more about that. Because if he actually happens to play, because Bruno's interview, I heard that they want to test the team, meaning that most of the first team players that are training now will play in that game, even if they're coming in the second half. But you get to see more of them, most of them playing.
Yeah,
So
hopefully. I think so.
so if you don't see a player like featuring in that game, most likely they won't feature in the first game. So
Maybe.
yeah, so we'll see how that goes. But
So
I think
how
he's
so
fine for now.
so oh, okay, he's okay. So how about other players, like I heard that Henderson too is suffering from a bit of a
Henderson
COVID, you know.
would not be available. He's still recovering. I think he's
He's
fine now, but the effects of the COVID might still
yeah,
be with him. So
because he had it
that
like
makes
3 weeks 3 weeks ago, but
yeah.
he's still suffering from the effects. But there are rumors that he is supposed to be the number one goalkeeper for
If
United
he
this
was
season.
fit, if he was
Yeah, if he
fit,
was fit. But
yeah.
then now, yeah, that become a tricky situation because Man United they have a very interesting situation in goalkeeper because of the 5 million price tag. To have a United goalkeeper at 5 million is very enticing in the game. And
Hmm.
considering now Man United defense should improve with Varane addition and Shaw, Maguire, they are all a year more experience going into the Euro. That also improves their capabilities and in some way, confidence wise, things like that. Wan Bissaka, he will wanna make a statement and things like that. So your defense generally, I think it will be better going into the season. So your goalkeeping situation is very interesting. As an FPL manager, I am keen. I'm keeping close tabs with your goalkeeper because I want to take those kind of opportunities. So, who do you think now will start should start the first game? Because
Without a doubt, it's going to be.
the
Hmm.
hair,
Go ahead.
it's gonna be
Yeah,
the
it's going
hair.
to be there. If if Henderson was fit,
Mm-hmm.
because there were rumors that he was going to be the number one, and then he's been given many chances, and he hasn't really grasped the chances with both hands, like more to
Mm-hmm.
speak, no pun intended. But
Mm-hmm.
De Gea hasn't really impressed as well too. So I think Ole want to give Henderson the chance, but now as you can see, he's not fit. Even if after COVID, because COVID is something serious, so he might need to get his strength back and then also get his sharpness back before he starts playing. So maybe in
So,
the first 3 or 4 games, you might see De Gea in goal for now.
okay, so given both of them were fit 100%, who will you start?
Henderson.
In your own view, you prefer Henderson to the hair.
I prefer Henderson to here. One thing about
That's
De Gea
interesting.
also is that I feel his Henderson has more hunger in him. But one
Mm-hmm.
thing about De Gea is that he doesn't want to leave because if he felt like he is a better keeper than Henderson, like he would have made some noise and maybe you might see him walk out from the team, maybe like try to get a transfer. But he's
Yeah.
willing to fight for his place. That
Uh huh.
says that he might be challenged because before nobody challenged him. We
Mm-hmm.
had Romero, but Romero wasn't even close, you know.
Yeah.
But now that Henderson is challenging him, and you can see they know what each keeper is capable of because they are training
Okay.
together. So if you see
Okay.
if he is willing to challenge for his position, he knows that Henderson is as good or almost as good as him.
Okay. Nice. So
So it's a good situation to have for now. The only thing I don't like about the situation is that both of them are high earners. You cannot
okay.
have two high earning
Alright.
keepers in the team. It doesn't make any sense.
Okay. No problem. So let's move with looking further forward. Of course, Shaw is a good option to have in your defense. Um, but let's look at the more and like the more interesting ones. That is the midfield options because you have Bruno Fernandes who has not had the best second half of the season last season. Went to the Euros, he did not impress, and now he's coming a bit late into the new season. What are your expectations from Bruno? And then there is Sancho coming, of course, and now there is Bruno is not gonna be that must have option in Man United. There is Sancho there. There is Greenwood, who is very hungry after missing out on the Euros due to injuries. What do you think about the United midfield prospects right now?
The prospects, I think I can go one by one. First things first is Bruno. Bruno is a talismanic player and he's perfectly made for FPL. We all know this, right? But in the Euros, he wanted to be involved, but based on his form and the quality that they have in the team,
Yeah.
he wasn't really involved. That means that even though he wasn't playing, it's a good thing for us that he didn't play because he can get like the training in in their training sessions, but then
Yeah.
also he's resting. So you
Mm-hmm.
see, he hasn't played. So the rest that he needed rest because he's a player that doesn't say no. He wants to play each and every game. And
Okay.
whenever Bruno says he's going to play, Ole never says no. You have to rest. No, he always plays him,
Mm.
right? Because he believes in his own physique. But once he went to the Portuguese team, he got the rest. So you can see maybe I think with the rest that he have and maybe coming in late, he might be rested. The only thing I'm not worried about is maybe his fitness because he's always a bit. He's not a slow player. Like maybe it takes 2 or 3 games to get his fitness back. He's always fit. He just needed to rest. So I think
Okay,
you'll see
so you favor Bruno over all the other United assets still.
all you know,
So
because see, we all know Bruno. Like even if he doesn't play, next thing you know, he's getting 1 or 2 assists, touch the ball. Like it's consistent. Last season we saw it.
okay, and how about the new penalty situation? How do you think will affect him? Because the Premier League has come up with very strict like rules for calling penalty next season. It's gonna be much
Yeah,
harder to give away cheap penalties. And as we know, Bruno last season scored 18 goals, half of which were penalties. So we cannot rule out, we cannot ignore that fact, right? He's one of the players who benefits most from penalties. So how do you think this will affect his appeal as an FPL player?
do I tackle this question first, or do I go before we get sidetracked to touch the other players? Or let me just finish this finally.
Okay,
The
yeah. Yeah.
the, the penalty situation is interesting, but in a way, getting new players like Sancho like solidifies the attack of the team because before you can pretty much tell that if Bruno doesn't have a good game, our attack
Okay.
is off. You know,
Yeah.
penalties.
Yeah.
To be honest, like I don't expect Bruno to have the number of goals he had last season because of the penalties, the penalty case.
Yeah.
But the way
Yeah.
Manchester United plays, it's difficult. It's difficult for referees to not award penalties to us because like we have those type of players, the Rashfords, right? The Marshalls. Now we have Sancho, who is one of the most creative players in the league, and you know the way he plays.
Yeah.
He likes to run into the box. So we will have the penalties, just not as much as we had last season.
Okay.
For me, that's my feeling. And obviously, if we have the penalties, the only player that's going to take them is Bruno.
Okay.
Also, if Sancho is coming into the team, there's more creative responsibility that is shared with him, with Bruno. Not everything is
Okay.
resting on Bruno, where he wants to like be everywhere and gets petulant and gets lazy or a bit frustrating. Now he can just give Sancho the ball, and who knows, Sancho can also create the chances as well.
Okay,
So I
nice. So
think, yeah, I
how
think
about Greenwood? Let's move on to
let's
Greenwood
move
then.
on to
Yeah.
Greenwood. Um, it's going to be difficult now that Rashford is out for a bit. He's recuperating. There's a chance that Greenwood will start the season. Maybe Sancho will move to the left instead, and then Greenwood will be on the right. There's also a young guy, Anthony Elanga. I think he's been very
Impressive in
he's
preseason, right?
impressive in preseason. Yeah, he's one of those young players coming in that I think Ole wants to give a chance to. But it's
Yeah.
going to be difficult for him. But I think he'll get a few games. But it's up to him to impress. He's been impressive in the preseason, honestly. But I think Greenwood will have a good start. But when Rashford comes in now, that's where the problem is going to be. The only other way I see him involved is maybe now that Sancho is here, maybe he will share the same position as Cavani because Cavani is not expected to play each and every game.
Yeah. And he's
He
not even
is
back for
he's, an,
preseason,
he's
right?
not back for prison either, so you can say that he's going to have a delayed start. Obviously, maybe Marshall and Greenwood will be the strikers fighting for the top spot for now until Cavani gets back. But even Cavani, if he gets back, it's going to be a problem because he won't play each and every game. So the challenge
Okay.
is going to be the two of them. It's going to be
Okay.
Marshall and
And
Greenwood. Who
okay,
is
that's
more on
nice.
point? Yep.
All right. All right. So, yeah. Now my final question to you is going to be about FPL. Looking at the situation right now, if you were to name 3 players who you can guarantee will start and they are good FPL appeals, like of course Bruno will be one of them. Who will be the other 2 players that you will feel is less risky for FPL managers to go with for the start of the season?
Bruno is sure he's going to start. If he's fit,
Yeah,
he's ready to go. He's going to start. Maguire is definitely going to start.
but do you think Maguire is a good FPL asset at
He,
5.5 million
he,
when
he
you
is
have
going to
so?
he is going to be sure he's a good asset. Um, but I'm not sure if he's going to start. But if he starts, it's definitely a good asset. But sure is a good asset if Cavani is available because his crossing has improved a lot. But the type of
Yeah, that's
strikers we have, like Anthony Marshall and Greenwood, maybe Greenwood is doing well now, but they're not the type of players that use their head a lot.
okay. Yeah, that's fair enough.
So yeah, I
So,
feel like you can have Shaw contributing more if Cavani is available. But for me
so,
right
so
now,
just three names to go
Bruno,
with. Uh huh.
Maguire, and this is going to be difficult. It's either, right now it's going to be either Marshall, Sancho, Shaw. Rashford is already out, but if he was fit, he would definitely be playing
So considering now looking at it for the for whole scope of the season,
for
um,
the whole season.
who, yeah, who do you think are the three best Man United FPL assets to go with?
Um, Bruno, Sancho, and Maguire.
Oh, that's interesting. I would
And
say
then you have
Shaw
the
instead.
Shaw as
For me,
fourth.
I will have Shaw instead of Maguire. Yeah, that's interesting.
To be honest,
We,
I'm gonna state something. Maybe we'll come back to inspect this at the end of the season. But Maguire is gonna have a very good season as a
okay,
defender. He's gonna score a lot of goals from headers, hopefully. And we hope that Shaw will be the one crossing those those balls into the
okay.
box. Yeah.
So like now, United. What's your prospect? What do you think United can do next season? What do you expect? Because of course we know you have bought well. Um, Sancho is a very big signing. I think Varane is one of the best signing you can have there for a defender at this point in time. Other than your holding midfield role, defensive midfield, I think you are pretty set to go into the season with a team that can challenge for trophies, challenge for the titles and things like that. So, what do you expect this season? What is your minimum expectation as a fan?
To win a cup, it
Mm-hmm.
doesn't matter which cup, because I feel like we have been at the precipice for the last two seasons, almost coming closer
Yeah.
last season, and then we haven't won anything. So as a it dwells on the players' maybe confidence. They feel like they are there but not there yet. So once they win something and they have that feeling of winning a cup and how it makes them feel, next thing you know they'll be like confident enough that okay, they can win anything now. So let them win a cup. It can be the FA Cup or whatever, Carabao Cup, whatever cup. Well, let me just win this season and have okay, this is what we have won as a first team under Ole. This is what we are capable of. Therefore, we can start winning many, like being competitive with all the top teams in the world right now. So first thing is to win a cup. Second
Okay.
thing is that I want them to be more resolute, because last season sometimes you see that they have good games where they play like exceptionally well. Next thing you know, the next game is like there's a different Manchester United. They don't want to play. They're not involved. Their focus is everywhere. They are not really dialed in as a team. I want them to be dominant like Man City. It doesn't matter. Man City, they have a bad day. They miss goals, but they will still win. I want that kind of consistency, because now that the team is becoming a more complete team, they need to be dominant and they need to show, because other teams actually see how dominant you are, and when they come to your home to play, you can see that that fear is there, and that it brings a lot to your team. If a team is coming and they're feeling that oh you get beaten, obviously the game is already won. So we need that
Okay.
dominance and that consistency.
All right. Nice.
I have
So
more, but expectations. But
yeah,
I
of
don't want to
course, your
keep
expectations we will have, but we want to keep it short. So
I don't
yeah,
want to keep the pot
yeah,
going.
yeah. You said 30 minutes before we start. I think we have already exhausted close to 30
I
minutes.
think so.
So yeah, any other thing you want to add on United before we move on to
Um,
Liverpool?
yeah, I think okay, let me just finish up this thing. I think they've done well this season, because we've come out and we've signed two really good players that will change the
Yeah,
team.
yeah,
I think now if we just get a CDM, like a top CDM, we can challenge for like each and every game, because the problem is if one of your positions in the team is lacking, when you meet a big team, that's when you see the faults in your team, like where you need to improve. And when we play big teams, you see that what you call them, Maxos, McTominay, and Fred, they're not the best. You just see them. Also, we need to clear out the dead wood. All these players that are not in the first team, we need to just take them out, sell them or let them go out on loans, something.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
if you are challenging on four fronts, like I think you need a depth in your squad. It depends on the manager how he use the players, in my opinion. But I think you have pretty good depth. I see a lot of noise about Lingard will not stay. He's of course for his career, it's not good for him to stay. But for United to be challenging in many competitions, I think it's a good player to have, to another addition to have if
he's a
he's
good
playing
squad player.
squad player to have for United.
But
Yeah, but of course he's at the stage where he needs to play a lot of games for now because he's getting old. So he needs to settle and then be more important as a player because he's that good. So yeah, but yeah,
yeah,
so
I guess yeah.
that's it.
Let me just cut it here because I don't want to. Okay, so that ends the fan viewpoint on Manu and the preseason and so far. So yeah, what about you? Like, take us through the Liverpool preseason. Then I can ask you questions on your team.
Yeah, as we know, last season for us it was a season to forget and to remember, of course, because at the start of the season we were one of the favorites to win the title and things like that. And then at the end of the season, we were celebrating finishing third, which of course is not what we wanted at the end of the season. We wanted to be challenging. We wanted to be more important in the. We wanted to have a bigger say
Title
in the
defense. Yeah.
in the title challenge. But of course, it was a season that everything that could go bad for Liverpool went bad for Liverpool that season. I would say that way. It was really a tough season. I know we like everybody know what happened. The injuries, the um, misfiring attacking players. There was the VAR. There were some, some internal, some personal issues inside the club, in terms of not necessarily like the manager has lost his mom or something like that in the heat of things. Alisson lost his dad in the heat of things, and they were not unable to, be represented in all these kind of all these little things because we are all humans. All these little things will affect you, and we all know how it goes. And the injuries was just never stopping injuries. Liverpool had, for example, in defense, we had to play like 19 defensive combination, centre back combination for the whole of season. I don't know any team that will survive with that. By January, we were top of the league, and then by January, we lost all the three senior centre backs we have in our squad. And it was not just them. In the middle of the park, the captain, by February, he was out for the season. And there were a lot of niggling injuries here and there. Players like Trent and COVID. It was a really really bad season for us. But at the end of the day, it ended on a high. So we will take that third position, and now we want to push on going into this season. And I'm already feeling very very optimistic with the how the season is going. The team has been in a preseason tour for 4 weeks. They were in Australia for 3 weeks. Now they are in France for one more week before they travel back to England. So, and the good thing was most of our players could not make it to the Euros. There were a few of them who made it, and even the few who made it could not play enough games in the Euros. The Hendersons, he was there just like a squad player in the England team. Thiago was like a squad player in the Spanish team. Most of our important players kind of did not make like big impact over the summer tournaments. Alisson was a second choice goalkeeper in the Brazil squad. Firmino was a second choice striker. Fabinho, all of them. No Liverpool player was really important, and some of them were injured, of course. And the important players, like we have all our centre backs coming back. Matip, Van Dijk, Joe Gomez, they are all back and they are all training. Like as we speak, Liverpool are playing a friendly game, and Van Dijk started the game, played about 45 minutes in that game, which is a big boost for us. And Joe Gomez is expected to play another 45 minutes. Matip has been playing since the preseason started. He has not missed any game, and he has not missed any training. He's looking really sharp in preseason. Actually, after Van Dijk, I
Okay.
think he's the best. He's the best defender we have at Liverpool. So
Okay.
preseason
Yeah,
wise,
preseason. Yeah.
yeah, preseason wise, we have played a few games, funny games because we played 30-minute game against a team in Austria, and then played 30-minute game against Stuttgart. Both games ended 1-1. Then we played Hertha Berlin, and then we lost that game, I think 4-3. It was a good game. I think that was the game that Van Dijk made his return. Before that, we played another game. I think we played 3 games, and today we are playing also 2 more games, 60 minute games against Bologna. And the first 60 minutes, that was which Van Dijk played. I'm not watching the second 60 minutes, but I will watch it tomorrow and see how it goes. But as far as training and preseason goes, I don't think any team or any big team is as prepared as Liverpool. I think it's a big statement to say, but I don't see any team that is as prepared as Liverpool to be together for 4 weeks and just focusing on training for that 4 weeks. I think it's a huge, huge step for Liverpool. And then to consider that you have the Salahs, the Manes, and all the big defenders, the almost the key players except the Hendersons and of course who went to the Euro finals and things like that. All
Okay.
the key players have been there. Yeah.
So the first thing I'm going to ask is, do you think VVD will be the same again after the injury? Because that's a very serious injury that he had, almost like you can say a career-ending injury. But what are your not your thoughts, but your feeling towards his full recovery and whether he'll get back to the same level that he was?
Yeah, because we are talking about ACL here. ACL is a very big injury, and usually the younger players can deal with it better than the older players. And VVD is now 30 years old, so you will think that okay, he is too old to recover back properly as he was before. But one thing I know about Liverpool, of course, you can say the same thing about other clubs, is their medical team is very, very astute when it comes to these things. VVD could have been available for the summer competition, the Euros, but because of they knew the consequences and he knew what he has to face, he had to extend his time on the recovery period, or so he took more time than he could have to return, just to make sure that he can get back to where he was. Of course, it's not gonna happen overnight. All of a sudden, he come in and then he's like the VVD he was before. But looking through his progress and how it has went since day one, I can confidently, or I can somewhat say that I feel he will at some point in the season get back to close to where he was. I have this feeling about him.
Okay.
Yeah, because they
So so far you guys have been very quiet in the transfer market.
yeah.
Like, why? What do you think makes your team so confident? Does it have to do with finance, or I think your coach is just confident in the team that all the injuries you have, people are coming back together. Like, doesn't make sense to go for more additions to the team. Apart from Konate, I think that's the only player that you guys bought. Which other players have you guys bought so far? Nobody.
Yeah, Konate is the only sign we made. But yeah, we
Yeah.
are talking. I think uh, as far as signing is concerned, the noise around other clubs is just high. Chelsea are linked with Lukaku, Man City are linked with Grealish and Kane, but they haven't signed any player. Liverpool have already signed a player because they have identified their targets and then they have already signed them. Of course, we lost Gini Wijnaldum in the middle, which is also a big loss for us in terms of fitness. He is also a very important player, but in terms of fitness, he was a player who was available throughout the season.
Yeah.
He
Definitely.
never misses any game. So to lose a player like him and not replace him could be a dangerous situation. It's similar to what happened to our defense. We lost Lovren last season, but we did not replace him, and it came back to bite us. So if we don't replace him, that could happen. But the situations are different because we only had 3 centre backs in defense, but in midfield we have at least 7 senior midfielders. The only issue there you will raise is, are they going to be fit enough to last the season? But looking back to last season, Gini Wijnaldum was an important player for Liverpool. He eventually became a very important player for Liverpool. But the reason Liverpool signed Thiago was to play Thiago, Fabinho, and Henderson as our 3 midfielders. Gini was going to be important. He was going to play a lot of games. But we were already moving away from Gini's as a player. But eventually, these players get injured, and that 3 only played 1 game throughout last year, and that was against Everton. So Gini become that important player. He was that important, and I respect. He's really an important player for us. Very, very important player for us. I cannot even overstate how important a player he was. But according to but from the team context, he was not necessarily a mainstay midfielder in the team. So the main midfielders that we wanted to play with last season could not be fit together, and that was an issue. So if we can have these midfielders fit together, I don't see any. This was going to be that team that is the same team that was going to be the favorite to win the league last season. It's just that
But they're going to be
circumstances.
a year older.
They are going to be a year
So
older. They're going to be more experienced. But also, you have to look at the other side, the negative side. Some of them are coming from long-term injuries. How are they going to react to
exactly,
these
yeah,
long-term
exactly.
injuries and all those kind of? But looking at the team as a whole, looking at the
Mm.
team, the caliber of players we have in the squad, I think if you can guarantee me that most of them can play 75% of the games or 80% of the games, I can vouch for them competing for the league with the team we have. I am very confident. I will take all players being fit for the whole season over signing even Mbappe, to be honest. I will take all players fit for the season over signing
Okay,
Mbappe.
but I guess you made a point there. But one thing I know for a fact is that signing new players brings competition to a team. Because
Yeah,
one thing is that number one, it challenges the players that are already there to raise their game. And number
yeah,
two, it gets them excited because I think last season or I think 2 seasons ago when we didn't sign any really top player, the players kind of felt it. Oh, okay, we don't have any help. There's no because when a new player is coming into a team, like believe it or not, the players that are there in the team are excited for the new player coming in. Because they feel like okay, we are improving our arsenal, so that means okay, we're going to be better next season. So we have this player. They're pumped. It gives the player like the team a new spirit. So I feel like even though you don't have any additions to the team, maybe that also can be an added maybe booster for the team. But anyway, you made a
yeah.
good
But
you made a good point.
I think we have an addition. Yeah, we have one player added to our team. You had two players into your team, so I don't see the difference that much, right?
Okay,
But it's
okay,
just that we happen to do our transfer very early in the season,
and
and
people have
then
forgotten about it.
now it feels like Liverpool did not make any signing, but we already
Mm.
make a signing. And then all the players coming back from injuries, they are gonna add something into the team. There are some players coming back from loan who we are expecting a lot from them, like Harvey Elliott or something like that. So in terms of signing, it's just the excitement as a fan. I can remember the season we won the league. That season we did not make any proper signings. We won the Champions League. We went into the league with the same team, and then we won the league. We ended the season with 98 points. So yeah, I think it's just a belief. Of course, a new signing will excite everybody, will excite the fans because I'm excited when I see a new signing. I'm very happy, and maybe it's the same feeling with the players. But I don't see that as the drive for players like they are already top players like the Salahs, the Manes, or the Van Dijks and things like that to for a signing to drive them. They already have their targets. They are already in this mindset of
Okay,
trying to be the best. So I don't see that
okay,
as a hindrance for them.
I see. So okay, moving on to FPL now. What assets in your team do you think people should look out for, especially now that you guys have a very good preseason and all everybody's fit and fighting to and ready to go? So what assets do you think would be like the best to have in game week one against who do you play again? Norwich.
Norwich. Yeah, I think it's the usual suspects. Salah has to be there. He's just an FPL god, I would say. And Trent now, he's creating at a rate that is unimaginable. He's creating at a rate better than Gerrard. He created at a rate better than players like Lampard, Beckham, those kind of players. Those creative players. He's creating at a rate better than those players. So you think, and he's a defender for Liverpool. Liverpool defense will get better, obviously. So he's the obvious option. Robertson, he's also a very, very good option to have in your team. But you have a budget, so you have to consider the budget. Jota is a very good undervalued player this season, and I think he will start the season as the Liverpool striker because Firmino came in late. So Jota for the first few games, he could be a very good pick to have. But look, even Mane could be an interesting pick. He has been sharp in preseason, already scored three goals in the preseason, which is interesting. Salah haven't scored yet in preseason, which worries me a little bit. But
Does for
yeah,
his price.
yeah. But also, if you wanna look from the blind spot, who people are not even considering, is a risky pick, and I am considering it seriously. Is Joel Matip. He has been sharp in preseason. He has been playing, and he's a threat in the opposition box. He can score goals when he's playing. He creates. He can score, and he's only 5 million. And I can guarantee you that he's gonna start the season as far as he does not get any injury before the season start. He's gonna be the first choice Liverpool centre back to start, probably with Konate. They're gonna start the season, and Van Dijk will be eased in gradually. So if you are having a short-term plan, Matip is a very good option to have at 5 million, and then you can get into that Liverpool defense with Matip and Trent, and then also go with Salah. and this is the way I am kind of considering now. But I am a bit scary because of his injury record.
Okay. I guess that's a good tip from a Liverpool fan. So yeah.
We have a few questions, right,
Hmm.
about Manchester United and Liverpool. So
I think
I will,
we've already covered almost a lot of those questions. But anyway, go ahead.
yeah. So I will throw you the United questions. So and then maybe you can give a quick fire answer. I know our pods are never too like they take a lot of time. So I think we should work on our timing. So one of the questions is, do you think United have what it takes to challenge? I think maybe
Definitely.
this was thrown at me because as a opposition fan, they wanted to know if I would. Yeah, of course, as a United fan, you will like to think so because of the signings you made. You would like to think so, and of course, as an outsider, I will also like to think so because of the signings you made. But my only worry is the manager you have. I don't think he has what it takes uh, to be that ruthless or to be that consistent as Pep and Klopp. That's where I think I will find you guys shortcoming. But in terms of players, in terms of team, I think your team is good enough to challenge for the title. Yeah. Next one. Uh, yeah. Do you think our new signings will improve us? That was it's obvious. Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
You will
definitely, obviously. Because
definitely. Yeah.
for me, like obviously the coach is important to have a top coach. But I've always said this, especially with Chelsea, they don't sign players for the coach; they sign the players for the team. It
Yeah.
doesn't matter who coaches Chelsea; they always have a good squad, like player by player. If you bring their assets out and their qualities, they are very good players. I think that's the the direction they were trying to move. We want to have good players in our squad, not squad players that can just be there and cover a position. So I think with or without Ole, like we have a very good squad and they will definitely improve the team.
Yeah. Of course. Of course. Of course. Yeah. Next one. Um, how much pressure is Ole on to deliver a trophy with the squad he got at his disposal, especially the transfer window, especially this transfer window, and will winning the Carabao Cup be deemed a success?
Well, the Carabao Cup, but also if he wins a cup, then it's a success because he hasn't won anything since he's been there.
Yeah,
But the thing about it is if he challenges, like last season he actually reduced the number of points from second to like to I think when was it third? Did we finish the season before?
yeah,
So the points gap has been reducing, and that's what you want to see. You want to see improvement to the best team in the league, which is Man City or Liverpool the previous season. So as long as maybe when we have games, we are beating them or we are challenging or we are having consistent points and the gap is narrowing, that is achievement. But I still feel like it has to be a challenge this season. We don't have any excuses. We have to be neck and neck with City or with Liverpool for the title. And then
yeah.
if they edge it, then fine, I can live with that. But at least
You
while
have to
that is
challenge.
going, we have to challenge number one, like serious challenge, and then also win a cup. It doesn't
Okay,
matter, like I said before, it doesn't matter which cup, just win something so that the players can celebrate.
so challenging for a title, finishing top four, and then getting a cup. Which one will
Not
you
top
take?
four. It's like almost winning the league or second, a close second. I will take that.
Oh,
Very close
but
second, like 3 points or
yeah,
six
yeah, yeah,
points. That's
yeah.
that's fine.
I get your point. I mean, getting the trophy or challenging. Which one will you take?
Of course, taking the trophy, the Premier League trophy. That's
S-
that's our,
No, no,
that's
no,
our
not
goal,
the
to be
Premier League
honest.
trophy, like the Carabao Cup, for example, or the FA Cup. Winning the FA Cup, not challenging, and challenging but winning nothing. Which one will you take?
First things first, winning the Premier League title. But if we don't win that, we
No,
have to
no,
win
no, no,
another
no, no,
cup.
no. You
The
don't make you don't have to. I give you my option, so you choose this
What are the
one or that
options?
one. I say winning a trophy, the FA Cup or the Carabao Cup, and then not challenging for the title. That is one option. Or challenging for the title but ending with the season with nothing. Which one
What do
will
you
you
mean
take?
challenging for the title? Like, how
Like
close are we talking about?
like close, like you are in the final 2 3 game weeks and there is still a chance of you winning the title, but then at the end you ended up short, and then in the end of the season you won nothing. What will you
No,
take?
it's going to be the same thing as the past 2 seasons. I'll take the winning the cup.
Okay, so you are
Yeah,
prioritize. So
prioritizing
personally, you
winning the
are
cup.
a trophy over challenging for the
Yep.
title. Okay,
Yeah.
that's fair enough. And I think that should be it. Is this United's most successful transfer window since Fergie left?
Of course, we have seen changes. We just don't buy players for buying them. So we are buying quality players and players that can improve our team. Because we see we've always wanted a right winger for the longest time, even though the Sancho transfer has been ongoing since last season or for a year now. But we finally got him, and then he's somebody that we really wanted in our team.
Yeah.
Vanan, we never thought we could really have in our team because it was so far fetched that we thought he was going to use us to have a better deal for Real Madrid. But he really wanted a new challenge, and hopefully, we'll conclude the deal. So yeah, if we have those two, like honestly, it's the best transfer in a long time. I don't say the best since Fergie left, but if we have a CDM before the season closes, then it will definitely be the best transfer since Fergie left, without a
Oh,
shadow of a doubt.
okay. Then now we move on to questions about Liverpool.
Yeah, let me take
Uh,
this. I don't know. I'll ask you these questions.
okay, I can just read them out. Will Liverpool get back to their best this season? I like. I'm optimistic that we will get back to our best. As far as we uh, are lucky, are at least lucky with injuries this season, I expect us to get back to our best. The fans are gonna be back in Anfield. We know Anfield
Yeah,
is
yeah,
we have the best fans. We have the best fan, the 12th man.
let
So
me let me read the
that's a big
questions. Yeah. Hmm?
boost. So yeah,
Which
of course, I expect Liverpool to return back to their best, but
which
and I expect them to
which
challenge.
which areas do you need to improve on?
Right now, it's just we need a depth in midfield. We need to replace Wijnaldum, in my opinion. But other than that, I don't see any other need in the squad apart from
Okay.
replacing Wijnaldum. The reason why we need to replace Wijnaldum, like I pointed out, was his minutes is very important. We need to replace those minutes. We are not confident about the players we have if they can last that long. So we need to replace his minutes with another midfielder to just be in a safe side.
Okay. This one I already asked. Do you think VVD will ever be the same again after his 9 months
Yeah,
injury and his age?
I
I
would
think we
just
already. Yeah.
we answered
But
that
just
one, but I would just want to point something. For example, in the Euros, Italy won the Euros. Chiellini had an ACL injury before in the last season. He came back, played the Euros, won the Euros with Italy, and he was one of the best defenders in the competition. He is 36 years old. So if a 36-year-old can do it, I think Van Dijk can come back again. So it will not come back straight, like I say. It will take time, but I expect him to come back to close to what he was.
okay.
Yeah.
Which United and Liverpool assets will you go for? I think this one we also covered, but you can just recap.
Yeah, for me personally, the goalkeeping situation, but I'm not sure, so I have to avoid that one a little bit. But if I have any indication that somebody is gonna start in goal for United in the first game, I might go with a United goalkeeper because I am going with a short-term plan of 2 games or 3 games. So to have a goalkeeper who starts the first game for United and the second game, I should take that. I will take that. And Bruno Fernandes, he is a lock-in in my team. I know a lot of people are talking about him not being that, not being this, not being that. He should not be in the team. He is a shoe in my team. So those two are kind of guaranteed. Bruno is kind of guaranteed, but the other places I have to wait and see. I might go with Double United. Shaw is also, if I have indication that he will start, he will be in my team next. And Liverpool, like we say, Salah, Mane, Salah, Trent, and somebody else. It might be Matip, it might be Jota, it might be Robertson. So I have been torn with that. But Salah and Trent are in my team for
Like
sure.
I said, for me, I'm going with popularity, like the best own players. I'm trying to change my
Yeah.
strategy this time around, and I'll start playing my own game probably in game week 2. So
Okay.
for now, I have Salah, Bruno, Shaw, and things have changed a bit. But those from those two players, from those two teams, sorry, Bruno, Shaw, yeah, most like definitely they're in my team right now, and then Salah and Trent, those
Yeah.
four players from the two teams. Yeah. Last question: will Liverpool's quiet transfer window come back to haunt them, or the recovering players having a fully fit squad will be enough to challenge or even win a trophy?
Like I think we answered that one, but yeah, for me personally, I think we have a very good squad. As far as I'm concerned, the only squad that is better than us at this point is Manchester City, as far as I am concerned. And this was my feeling last season, going into last season too. I think they had a better squad than us. That was my feeling 2 years ago when we win the league. That was my feeling 4 years ago. I think they just have an exceptional squad. If they add Grealish and Kane, it's gonna be even exceptionally good. But like I say, you play against 18 teams. You play. This is the mentality we have at Liverpool, and this is what club instill in Liverpool fans right now. You play against 20. It's 20 teams in the league. You face Manchester City 2 times over the course of the season. So if they are gonna hurt you, they are gonna hurt you in those 2 games. So make sure you take care. You take care of the rest of the games. That is the other 18 teams that you play over the season. We are better than them, I feel. So we should be winning those games. So if we take care of those games, I don't think Man City can be a problem for us. We can challenge against them, and then we can see what how the season goes. So I don't expect the quiet transfer window for Liverpool to affect them. I have experienced it for the 2 or 3 seasons. We spend a lot of Liverpool spent a lot of money in one season where they bought Van Dijk, they bought Alisson, they bought all these kind of players because Van Dijk came in January, Alisson came in the summer, and other players like Fabinho, like Navigator, and all these kind of players, all these key players that we had in the squad, they came almost at the same time. So we have all these players. Some of them are at the peak of their career. So quiet window does not affect me. It's just that there is no excitement of the season going into the season. But in terms of squad, I think the squad is in a very good shape. As far as we send extra central midfielder to cover Wijnaldum's minutes from last season, I am not worried.
Okay, we have some other questions. I think we just go ahead and finish them.
Yeah.
Okay, the other questions are: with the way teams are building, we will see the traditional top five, or will there be a breakout team? I think we'll take times answering. You answer one question, and I answer the next one.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
You wanna take that one?
No, you go ahead and answer this one.
Okay, top four, top five. I think traditionally we have top four, not top five, and that is Liverpool, Man United, Arsenal, and Chelsea. And then over time it changed to become Tottenham came into the fold, and then Manchester City, they were there for a while, kind of. But yeah, in terms of top four, I would say I think it will remain the same. I think Liverpool, Man United, Chelsea, and Manchester City, they are just too good for the other teams. Arsenal and Tottenham, they are a long way. So I would expect them to be competing for the top six, 7 or something like that, along with Aston Villa with their signings. I think they could have this Grealish money could be a blessing in disguise for them because they can sign good players and things like that, and they can challenge for European spots. So, but top four, I don't see it changing. I think it will remain the same as it was last season.
Okay, you ask the next question. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Should we keep a close eye on Aston Villa, and what are the chances of them make it a European spot, something like that?
I think, like you said, the Grealish money, if it goes through, I think they should not get caught up like Tottenham and go and buy like 3 or 4, 5, 6 players from that money. Just buy any player. They should buy good replacements. Buendia is a very good replacement for Grealish. Ings is not a young player, but he can actually improve their team. So I think if they spend it wisely and buy 1 or 2 key players, they also bought who's this guy again? Leon Bailey, right?
Yeah.
So it's a good. They're buying smart, and which is good. But I think Grealish was a very big part of that team. He was a talisman, and you could tell last season when he was injured for the second part of the season that their chances just went down the drain because you can tell that they were not holding up the ball properly. Teams were attacking them, but when Grealish was playing, they had the ball. They were always attacking. They were exciting to watch. I think the jury is out. We want to see how they will play now without Grealish. If they change the way they play, fine. But I think Aston Villa is a very good team to watch because of the assets that they have.
Okay.
Yeah. Next question. Arsenal not having any European football, can this season be used as a reset button for the squad and also ease pressure from Mikel Arteta?
Well, yeah, definitely. I think it's especially if you are a team as big as Arsenal, if you are not playing in any European competition, I think that can only be a good thing because you can focus solely on the league. And they have some players who are kind of injury prone, like Tierney. So if they are only going to play once a week, I think this could help them in terms of maintaining their fitness. And if they have all their players fit, all these key players fit, I think they can do well. So I think not playing in Europe could be good for them this season. and it could help them, compete for the European spots next season. They could, yeah. Of course, I don't expect the top four to change, but they can kind of get close to it. And they signed well. They signed Ben White. I like him. So, yeah, I would expect them to be close. Next
Okay.
question.
Mm-hmm.
Can Manchester City do an invincible season run with the wealth of with the wealth at their disposal, the talents and all these kind of things?
No, I know it's difficult as a Manchester United fan seeing City with all these possible Grealish and Kane in their team.
Yeah.
But I think the thing with Pep is that he gets a bit confused. We all know the simplest thing that you should do in big games that you should win. He always goes for the exceptional and just loses the plot. So I think the fact that he has all these players will not work for him. So the problem is that Grealish might not be the best player for them, in my opinion. I don't think he fits the way they play. I might be wrong. But if they have Kane, Aguero just left. You understand? Aguero left, and now they have Kane. If they have Kane, it's going to be a whole different ball game, But still, it's up to Pep and like how he plays. If he can utilize the team well, because Mahrez is playing well in the preseason, but next season, who knows? In game week 1, he's going to bench Mahrez, and then what goes on from there? So he needs to just keep it simple. He has the players, he has the tactics. They're the best team in the league. They have been for the past few years. Just keep it simple. But I don't think with the quality of teams that he can get a mount an unbeaten run in this season.
Yeah. There are a lot of quality around the team. So Manchester United, Liverpool, Chelsea, all these.
It's going to be difficult.
I don't see any team doing that anytime soon now. Yeah. Next,
final question. What should we expect from Chelsea this season? Title challenge or defend the Champions League?
Definitely, they will have a crack on the Champions League for sure. They will have another crack. They are a team they are good at playing in Europe. They are this kind of teams. They are not Arsenal. They are always in there when it comes to European competitions. Even when they are struggling, they can always cause a trouble. So of course, I will expect them to challenge in the Champions League. I'm not saying they're gonna defend it, but they will challenge. And the league, we know last season they were missing a striker in their team, and as we know, Lukaku is being linked with them, and that is the only missing part in their jigsaw. So once they get Lukaku, they will be on par with, I would say, Liverpool and Manchester City. Of course, of course, United will, but because of United, the manager they have, I just don't rate him that much. But in terms of squad, they will be the same as Liverpool, United, and Manchester City. They will be on par. And in terms of manager, they already have one of the top managers in the league. So I will expect them to challenge for the title. So yeah, I will expect them to finish top 3 at least, and they will be up there challenging.
Okay, so I guess that ends the pod. Because of time constraints, we'll just add the captaincy to our game week 1 preview. So yeah, man, it's been a very good pod. Anything you want to say, Chama, to close?
Yeah, of course. If we have the captaincy in the final drafts and close to the season, I think it will be even more helpful too. Yeah. So the captaincy metrics or the captaincy, the importance of captaincy discussion, we will do it in the final, the first preview of the season, which should be coming next week. So guys, that should be it.
Okay, so please subscribe to our YouTube channel. The link is on the video as well as the audio, the podcast. So please subscribe to our YouTube channel. Follow us on Facebook as well as on Twitter.
Yeah.
So you have all the links there for you. So please, guys, hopefully we'll get a very nice addition of listeners or pouring of listeners to our social media. Yeah, it's been a good one. Catch you guys on the next one.
Goodbye, guys.
Bye.